It says, no scheme of man, no power in hell can ever pluck me away from him till he returns or calls me home. I'll stand in the power of Christ. You know, the simple reason of our existence, which if it was that easy, then we'll be easily aligned to God. If life was that easy, if there was no problem to drag you away, left, right, to distract you, it would be easy for us to follow God. Every time I try to come here, I want to just relay a simple message. A message around life. Simple things that people have gone through or still go through is a part of our lives. And an important aspect of how we finish in this world is how we handle situation. Things will happen, whether good or bad. You can handle good things in a bad way. You can handle bad things in a good way. Bad things in a bad way to make it worse. And guess what? Your life is an example. People will look at you. You will become a story. You can become an example one day. This was how this person did it. You can become an example of how not to do it also. You know, how we deal with situation and things is largely aligned to how we understand it. Either you don't understand it at all and go with the flow, or you take your time to think, why am I in this situation? Why is this happening? And you try to understand it. When I was trying to prepare for this, I was looking at some of the messages I've taken in the past. I spoke about understanding focus, understanding love, understanding discernment, understanding discouragement, everyday things that we go through. And I've always been drawn to the concept of understanding because I found out that most times problems are half solved when you understand it. I know there's this saying that says a problem shared is half solved. But what if you shared with the wrong person? Then you are taking on the person's experience. You understand this person's experience, and you can only rise as much as what your environment tells you or the influence that you see. You can't rise above it. For instance, if someone is telling you that black people, this is the height we can reach in career, that is the only place you aim for. And even when you get there, you will just sit there that I have arrived, local champion. But guess what? If you see another black person, CEO of Fortune 500 company, say, oh, wow, it's possible for us to break bounds and get there. Your perspective begins to change. Why? Because understanding has changed. You are no longer limited. Again, to balance it, understanding can be dangerous because you can understand something to a position where it puts fear and worry in you. Proverbs 4:7 says, wisdom is the key thing, is the principal thing. Therefore, get understanding with all your might. That's the simplest unit of progress, understanding. A lot of my message this morning has been said somehow, somewhere in Thursday's Bible study. I was just saying, what was doing these people said? They are just saying all the things I want to come and say on Sunday. And Sam too came here now. This is talking about I said Jesus. One of the second points I have, lean not on your own understanding. He's saying if everything you just stealing words. Is everything you have done, if it's by your own power. I said Jesus. It will not be as if I'm repeating, but it's here. Written a while ago. But we thank God for the Spirit of God. So this morning I want to talk about something simple. Understanding worry. You know, I was going to talk about understanding fear, but fear is an established emotion. I don't know if emotion or art or practice, something that's already happening to you. I think before fear, there's something that happens. There's worry. There's worry. Understanding worry. By default, like I was saying, when we are created, when we are born into worry by default. And from Genesis 3, just by the happening of the fall of man, we were already born into hardship. The punishment was man would till ground to feed. So that means everybody for himself. Man will till ground to feed. Everybody for himself. You have to fend, you have to fight for yourself. So by default, nobody owes you anything. By default, nobody is supposed to check you have eaten. By default, nobody is supposed to check if you have money, if you can afford to pay your bills. By default, we are selfish because we are supposed to stand alone, till the ground to eat. So even husband, wife, children is even by responsibility, and I'm sure it's because the government places that responsibility on you. They can take away the children if they are not feeding them. If not, people can relax in their own problem and busy and working and even forget to feed the children. By default, nobody owes you nothing. There's this song I like to listen to by a lady, Lade. It's called Adulthood Na Scam. The message of the song is very funny. It says nobody go ask you if you don't chop. Every day brings his own problem. I mean, while the problems are coming, people are still coming to give you formats without caring about your own personal problem. And you find out people saying, oh, I need it, my wife is hospital. You say, calm down, let's start from my own too. This is my own too. It happened to me last week. Someone called me, very, very, lot of stories. They no money from my account. My wife is in hospital. Me, myself, I've landed in the hospital. Business is not moving. The good thing for me was it started with, he said, my NEPA bill. He said, in fact, it's so bad that NEPA removed my wire. I said, thank God where it started. I sent me to my own bill, NEPA. My NEPA here has tripled. So we're all suffering this thing that I've told my family, everybody go and buy onesie. ITA is not coming until October 1. And it will be rationed. I called to say, let's get on plan. All the plans are more expensive, people are variable. So you have to stay on variable with faith. And be every day I'm monitoring energy price. What concerns me? I'm not in the energy market normally. So by default, everybody has to take care of themselves. And that song saying adulthood na scam. It is just at the level that the lady is operating. Childhood too na scam. The children have their worries. And their worries is also valid for their own level they are operating. And I'll start from the simplest cradle of life, the baby. The baby was inside the womb, inside swimming pool, eating through fallopian tube for 9 months. When the baby came out, who taught the baby how to latch onto mammary gland to suck? Who? And then he starts to suck. And then the baby is hungry. You take him out, he's full, he's hungry. I can bet you the baby is 100% worried when the food used to come naturally through fallopian tube, but now I have to look for nipples. Oh, sorry. Mammary gland. If the thing is not showing up on his first worry, the face starts to change, and all of a sudden, full-blown tears. Fear of hunger. Even the baby understands hunger. Everybody has to fend for himself. And we have some modern parents nowadays that don't breastfeed at all. They immediately introduce and jump into bottle. The child has to cry. The fear has to come first and then cry. But at that stage in life, the child doesn't understand worry, doesn't understand anything. So that's all he knows. So worry is happening at every level. The child, I can say my son's, most of his worry is he won't play game. So because of that, he will do everything. Do his work, write, everything be good. Go and bath, you go and bath. The only one is eat, he will eat for 2 hours. By the time he's finishing breakfast, it's already time for lunch. So he's eating 24 hours a day. But genuine worries for it just becomes compounded as you grow up because nobody has the direct responsibility to care. So we all worry. We all worry. It's valid, it's normal. In fact, if you don't have worry, then there's a problem. When I was preparing for this, I was reading some psychological analysis of understanding worry and blah, blah. And one of the funny points they made there, they say for you to understand worry, you need to confine your worry to a particular period of the day. So just to limit distractions. They say confine your worry to a period of the day. So maybe 2 hours a day. Choose between 8 p.m. and 6 p.m. and worry then. I said, these ones don't have real problem. The worry that will wake you up from sleep is the one you will confine to 6 to 8 to think about. So I'll do everything normally all through the day. Then when it's 6 o'clock, bam, I start to worry. Worry till 8 and close worry again. No! Life can happen like that. The worry that will make hunger go. The worry that will even make hunger come. The worry that will take away your sleep. You can't confine it to 2 hours. You can't. And it's not peculiar to us. People have been worrying for years. A lot of examples in the Bible. People have been worrying for years. And my text today I'll take from the book of Exodus, chapters 3 to 4. If you're a bit curious, you can study it more. We're not going to read it, but Exodus 3 to 4. Simply Exodus chapter 3 and 4. The whole chapter itself, no verse. Don't study it because it's a very interesting story. Story we all know. The period that God chose Moses to lead the people out of captivity. I'll start by defining some things, and the most obvious one is the worry itself. What is worry? Worry is a form of thinking. And normally we have thoughts, and most times as humans we are not inclined to happy thoughts anyways. For some reason we are more drawn to the bad side of things. You are faced with a situation, you are thinking, what if I don't get it? You are faced with a situation, you are thinking of the negative first. What if it doesn't work out? Like I said, it's the way you nurture and think about the worry that defines what it becomes to you. Worry is simply a form of thinking that can leave you anxious and apprehensive. And I bet there's no one sitting here today that doesn't have any form of worry, whether individually. In fact, there are different types. There's one that is individual, there's one that is collective, that all of you all share in common. There's the one that only you know in your closet that you can't tell anybody. You will say, oh, husband and wife, it's a lie. There are things that are eaten deeply, that is only you that knows it. From the weakest of us to the strongest, everybody has got it. Everybody experiences it. And like I said, it's a normal process. It doesn't make you abnormal. So in Exodus 3, Moses was chosen by God to lead the people out of 430 years of captivity. It was the worry in Moses. And I don't think there's any particular record of why Moses actually even was worried. Maybe because he was living a comfortable life, a peaceful life. There was no need to rock the boat. Let me just continue to tend the sheep in my father-in-law's house. There's food, everything is all right. Apart from that, he had a good upbringing anyways. He grew up in Pharaoh's household. I'm sure equivalent today is the work of someone working as a senior manager in Amazon, the work of tending his father-in-law's good sheep. So everything was good then. And then God says, go and rescue my people out of 430 years of captivity. If I was one, I would worry too. Because I grew up in that household, I know the capability of Pharaoh to people that opposes him. And God said, go and rescue them. And what did Moses do when the worry came? Excuse. Which is the first thing that happens when worry comes. Now, some people are very, very free. They don't really think about it much. So they might just shut it down and go. But some people can overthink and think the think itself, to the extent where the worry becomes so big. So imagine you're having a leading from God to do something incredibly stupid that men will laugh at you. Imagine you are struggling money to raise, to even pay your rent, and God says you should go and give out the one you have raised so far. That men will laugh at you. I'll take us through 5 excuses that Moses gave. 5 excuses. in that 3 to 4, Exodus 3 to 4, and how we can relate it to our own lives. I'm sure you can see yourself in all of these things, because me, when I saw myself in it. This is a message that's been in my heart over a long time. I'm just thinking today, I'll just go listen to something, write it down. Because I just saw worry as the standard of the problem of this world. When we start to worry, we make mistakes, we just do things anyhow. Worry mainly, again, is caused by the fear of the unknown. That's part of what we're saying on Thursday in the Bible study. What you don't know, you don't understand. That fear. And that was what Moses had. And the first excuse he gave in Exodus 3:11, I am not good enough. He said, who am I that I should go to Pharaoh, that I should bring the children of Israel out? I am not good enough. How many times have things been laid in your heart, or you need to make progress? And the first thing is to look down on yourself, that can I do it? Am I not overstepping my bounds? Am I good enough? And before you get to where God told him to go, and when he started to give the excuses, a series of events had happened anyways. God did not just come to him. There was a burning bush that was not consumed, which in his own is a miracle that I'm talking to a spiritual and superior being. He had seen enough incredible things already. An angel appeared to him. And it was in the midst of the burning bush he heard the voice of God, Moses, Moses, before God explained his assignments. I'm not sure how many of us would have had that kind of physical and actual manifestation and would still be scared, or should still be scared. I don't know if I found myself in that situation, but I think personally, if I saw a burning bush and God spoke to me directly, I heard the voice, I'm not sure I'll be too scared to start to give excuses. Until I'm there. But I'm still thinking that maybe not. I might just say, burning bush behind. I'll just be going, burning bush that called me. You know? And, you would say normally the things we see should propel us, should be easier for us to act because we've seen it. The words of a man. It's easier for you to see. For instance, if I say to you, if I tell you I'll give you £1 million today, you doubt. Or if Jeff Bezos should say it, because you've seen. And this is Moses that has seen burning bush. But still, the fear, the worry is there. So worry is very dangerous. We need to understand how to tackle it when it comes. See the situation of what comes before you start to make those excuses. He said, am I good enough? Am I good enough? If it's external factors that is causing you to worry, I think it's still okay. I'm sorry, not external. If it's internal factors that is causing you to worry, I think it's still okay, because most of the internal factors are like what ifs. You are not sure yet. There are still permutations. So Moses has not even gone at all. And he's saying, who am I that I should be the one that will lead your people out of captivity? It's more difficult where there are external factors, the ones you can't control, when they are competitors. External factors can come in different ways. What have people told you that is forming the basis of your knowledge and your definition of yourself? Am I good enough? A lot of people I've listened to that have been successful at some point in life, whether in school, whether growing up, have been told you will never amount to nothing. And it sticks. You will never amount to nothing, and it sticks in their head. And some of them, they propel, they fight, to beat those assertions about them, to be able to break free and make it. But some people, it affects them forever. And they can even say, oh, my teachers have told me I'll never amount to nothing. Why should I try? We give up easily based on external influence that causes us to worry. And there are a lot of examples around that in the Bible. Gideon is one. When Gideon was a judge, Gideon was a cowardly man already anyways. And he existed in a time where there was so much oppression in the land. In fact, when he was called, he was hiding in a wine presser, threshing wheat. A demeaning job anyways. Imagine what you are doing, and God comes and calls you and says, oh, you man of valor. It's like an irony, it's like a joke. I'm sure in this time, without told the angel, why they whine me? Me, man of valor, I'm hiding from oppressors under the ground. No, you can't even do it openly. Gideon also, like Moses, was asking for proof. He said, God, I put these clothes here. Let the whole surroundings be surrounded with dew, and this other one should be dry. God did it. The second one again, let the clothes be dry. Let the surrounding be surrounded with. God did it. The third time, put hand inside clothes, bring it out. Leprosy went and disappeared. God did it. God is very patient. But the practicality of I am not good enough is one of the major reasons why we can worry, which we need to check. The second one, in Exodus 3:13, Moses said to God, said, indeed, when I come to the children of Israel and say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you, and they say to me, what is your name? What shall I tell them? Moses believed he didn't have all the answers. Which is another worry. There is no assignment, there's no revelation that God will give you that he will tell you everything, the step by step of how it will happen. If you are lucky, you might get the end. That this is what will happen at the end. In fact, the end of a revelation or an instruction might not even be to your own benefit or to your glory. So how do you know? You don't know. God said, go and free my people. He didn't have all the answers, and he started to question, which is what another thing worry can do to you. You start to question everything. So much so that in the professional world, there is Monte Carlo analysis, what if analysis. You will play out every scenario. What if this happens? This is what we do. What if risk assessment also? What if? No, burning bush. God has said go. You can't have all the answers. And the more you worry, the more you have questions. I was reading through a write-up on worry also, and they categorize worry into two major types. One practical and one hypothetical. And the practical ones are the ones you can see. The ones that have happened that is causing you to worry. Oh, what if my tires should burst? Probably based on experience of you had 2 flat tires over the last few days. What if I miss my train? Because you know you don't wake up early normally anyways. What if I don't get the job? Maybe they've given you like 1,000 rejections in your inbox, in a folder. Which is still good because that's still based on what has happened. But the hypothetical one is worse. That's the mental one. And you can be trapped in that one for longer. Because the more you dwell in it, the more other what-ifs will start. The more you start to think. Like Moses, what if I go and they don't answer me? What if they ask me, who am I? How you deal with it is very important. How you deal with the worries that come is very important. Very quickly, the third one, Moses said, the people will not believe me. So what worry can do to you is to help you to get to conclusion also. even before starting. You start to conclude. Exodus 4:1. Then Moses answered, but suppose they will not believe me and listen to my voice. Suppose they say the Lord has not appeared to you. People will question you. And this one is very, very natural human instinct. Being vulnerable. The fear of being physically wounded or bruised based on that unknown. It ties in very well with the previous excuse about, you not believing in yourself. How did Moses conclude that the people will not believe him? The assignment was just to go, and this ties also into us as children of God answering the question, what did the call of the Great Commission, go ye into the world? Most times we start with, what if they laugh at me? What if they don't believe me? Your assignment is to go. You just go and talk. Conclusions made from questions that come out of worry. They are always not too good. And like I said, most times we don't conclude to the positive. We always conclude to the negative. What if? And they'll say that's the whole basis of risk analysis anyways. Unknowns. And it's only just recently they started to do opportunity analysis anyway. And that's the positive part. But it's still not common. It's only the bad ones. Worry. The fourth one, and which one? This one is actually the best one. The fourth excuse Moses gave in Exodus 4:10. He said, then Moses said to the Lord, oh Lord my God, I am not eloquent. Neither before, nor since you have spoken to your servants, but I am slow of speech and tongue. It's very, very funny for Moses. The kind of pedigree that he had, the upbringing. I'm sure in the climes of today, probably be a PhD holder. He grew up in a very privileged background. He said, I'm not eloquent. I can't talk. And that's what worry will do. It will help you to bring up excuses. That's when you start to analyze all your bad attributes, one by one, just to run away from an assignment. And then you suppress the drive or the hunger in you so much so, based on those negativity. 1 Corinthians 1:27 said, God has chosen the foolish things of this world to confound the wise. It says God has chosen the weak things to confound the things that are mighty. So maybe a better place is if you start to analyze yourself with all those negative things is to turn it to prayer. That God, this is my speech that I can't speak. Let it open doors for me. All these negative things that I can't do, let it be the things that will open the doors for me. Let those my weaknesses be the changes to my situation. Not just analyze it, play it, and be comfortable in it. Shebi and Kuku shot before. How can I go for tallest man competition? Some people say I'm not good in maths. It's not my strong point. No. The response of my son to everything is, I'm small. So I'm just 5. I'm small. But that same 5 that is small, I can bet, I don't know who plays FIFA here. It will beat almost anybody here in FIFA. The negative things. If you want to play it back to God as a complaint, use it as a prayer to say, use the weak things of this world to confound the wise. Use my weakness. Use my stupidity to confound the wise. Worry. If you have to worry, worry positively. Number 5, Exodus 4:13. Moses said, I'm not qualified. Send somebody else. And you now start to make excuse and suggest to God, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, on what to do. He says, but he said, oh my God, please send by the hand of whomever else you may send. Say, God, not me, choose another person. Worry. You know, another interesting character, well, his own worry was on another dimension anyways, was Jonah. Now, his own is funny because he was a questionable character of a prophet in the first place. He was one that advised, is it Jeroboam now, that he would take all the land in 2 Kings. And when he went in the opposite direction of where God sent him, in the later verses of Jonah, his excuse was that because he knew God was merciful and he will forgive the people. Can you see the dimension of his own worry where it took him? It's quite similar to Esau. I'll not always use the Esau example a lot. Esau's problem was, I envy the riches of the wicked. Me, I'm faithful, I'm righteous, I'm serving God, but these other guys are just living large. Probably wanted to do those things, enjoying the things that... And I've had that problem before. When I was doing masters, there was a guy. While we're even still trying to be religious with everything, based on the investment of the school fees that must not waste, but there's also life to chop also. And there was a guy that was chopping all the life. Monday to Thursday to Saturday to Sunday, out every time. And every assignment, every dissertation, every test, he was passing in flying colors. Flying colors. When I mean supernatural flying. So we made the conclusion that the course was doing was easy. He was doing electrical engineering in his master's, and we were doing civil engineering. And I had another course mate that went to the same uni with him in Nigeria. He finished with a 2-1 in Nigeria. That his friend finished with a first class. And the first class friend of mine that were in civil engineering together were struggling. We are talking of nights in the library to the extent that the security guard would come and accost us that, is it that you guys don't have accommodation? You are sleeping here too much. And Bantos was passing in flying colors. We came to a lot of conclusions. I'm telling you, the time we should have been using to read our book, to even try to be like the guy, we're just worrying about why he was passing after being such a hard guy in town. And we came to another one. We said, your father and mother must have done something to God. After the physical one that we tried to explain, we went to the spiritual too and explained it for ourselves. That your father and mother must have done something to God for you to be passing like this, because it's not possible. You are going everywhere Monday to Sunday and you are passing like this. He didn't only finish that, he finished his master's, he finished his PhD too. We could not even continue. The master was so bad that it killed the idea of going forward in education. Up to now, it has killed it. Worry, what worry can do. Then my master's, what would I call him now? My supervisor, is that what they are called? He said to me, I should come and do PhD. I said, sir, no, I want to hustle. It's time to go and work. We've had enough. 9 months on this mountain that we now finished last night. So I should come and continue. Because he was professor again, pride and everything, he sent other doctors around. Tell this guy to come and... I said, no. We have suffered enough in these masters. I'm not taking it any further. This is the end of education. But guess what? As God would work, it was the same guy that still found me a job, my first job. He said, okay, what do you want? I said, I want to work. He said, okay, no problem. We'll get you somewhere. But my point is this, there's a way worry can twist your dynamics to the extent where you are completely moved away from the plan of God. God might be merciful and allow you to continue, but you might have missed a greater picture based on worry, analyzing everything. Too much, I would say. So what was I? Yeah, I was talking about Esau, talking about Jonah. You know, analyzing worry to the extent of, to the detriment of other people. Jonah said, because I know you are a merciful God, you will forgive these people. And that's the message God sent to them was, he should tell them that his judgment is coming. But he ran away, not because he was scared that they would reject him, not because he was scared that they would ask him who he is. He was a confident guy as a prophet in himself. I call him questionable prophet. But he didn't want to go because I found that very wicked. He said, because God is merciful. What is the reason why you are worrying actually in the first place? Is it for your own selfish interest? You know, you see people in places of work, and that's what I mean. Most times when they start to play office politics and give this person did, this person did that, I just lean back. I say, you will collect all the accolades. You are not the one writing the story. People start to scheme for promotion. You know, start to scheme to be in the... One lady said to me once, I think I was working at night. Sent me a message. Oh, can you see Peter is also online? You will see we are working at midnight. I said, look, Oga, me, it's because tomorrow morning I don't want to start before 12. That's why I'm here now. If your own is for Peter to see, you and Peter, good luck to you. You know, scheming around, worrying just to hurt others. And it's a check on yourself. If you start to think your worry is to the detriment of others, you're not even now worried about others, you're just worried about you getting ahead selfishly, ahead of other people, then you retrace your steps. Because that's not healthy in the first place. Okay. I'll try and finish in the next 5 minutes, so I'll rush. What to do with worry? People have talked about worry. You worry, you can't evade, you can't run away from it, you have to worry, you have to think. But what do you do with it? A simple, basic concept, a very popular Bible, a couple of verses, which we know we read all the time, but we can apply it wisely. And at every junction, at every point, it can help us in our journey of worry, in managing it, to the extent where only positives will come out of it for us. Proverbs 3, 5-6. The book of Proverbs 3, 5-6. It says, trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding. And verse 6 says, in all thy ways acknowledge him, he shall direct thy path. 3 reasons there with things to do about worry. 3 things to do with worry. Number 1 is trust in the Lord. It says trust in God. Now, the word trust itself is an advanced level of some other basic concepts. Trust doesn't just happen. You can't just see me and trust me. People say trust is built. And before you build that trust, the first thing you need to know is that God is not man. The Bible says that God is not a man that he will lie. God is not man. As he said it, he will do it. So for you to trust, you have to first have that understanding. Men would have failed you over the years. Men would have failed you over the years. And it's not their fault. Situations that are above them also. They too, they are humans, they are going through life. I can promise to give you money today, and something happens. I think that's why the Bible says if you want to help somebody, help the person now. Don't postpone it, because you might not be in the position tomorrow to do that help again. Trust is built. And I think the level of maturity you have to have before trust is faith. Because faith is what? The evidence of things not seen. And now trust is built on things that you see. You need to have performed before for me to trust you. And God is saying here, trust in me, trust in the Lord. How do I trust when God has not performed? So first, my faith needs to be built. If God has said it, he will do it. If you can have a spreadsheet of God's action words that you can apply to every situation. You just go and filter. You say, okay, no money today. My God has said He'll provide all my needs. You filter on provision, gone. Failing health today, filter for health. By His stripes, I'm healed. Spreadsheet till it becomes spreadsheet in your mind. Because whether you like it or not, if you do something regularly, that's what you see. The way I used to study was to write. In the exam hall, is that writing I was writing that will come again? If it becomes a habit, it becomes part of you. There was one of my cousin's daughter that didn't remember how to pronounce my name for a long time. So I told her, Mom, every morning when you wake her up, tell her my full name and stamp it on her brain. If she wakes up every morning hearing it, if you hear every day, it will become. And it's also positive and negative. Look, if you tell yourself the truth every day, you will live it. If you tell yourself a lie every day, you will live it. I have a friend back then in Basingstoke. He used to say he was born in Zimbabwe, born and bred. He lived like 20 years of his life already in Zimbabwe. But he used to tell everybody he was born in the UK for no reason. He said it so much, it became the default answer that even when he had to say the truth, he still say I was born in the UK. Told himself a lie so much, he became the truth. So if you build those habits and you do it so much, it becomes the truth. Your mind will filter out that need, that worry at the current time, and the associated Bible verse that you put to it. Trust in God with all your heart. All your heart is not emotion. It's not the one that you just read. That's why I had us sing that song before. In Christ alone, my hope is found. We sing it. Do we really mean it? Or is it just words? Is your hope really found in Christ? If you find yourself in trouble today, is Christ the first person you will call? Is prayer your first resource or your last resort? How does it work with you? Because whoever it is you are calling first is because you have trust in that person. That person has performed in the past. And trust me, they can disappoint you. The way to trust God easily, if you are struggling with faith also, is to document your past victories. People always say it a lot. Have a book of testimonies. Document it. Document it. And you can always go back to it. The second one, it says, lean not on your own understanding. This is the one that Sam took away from me. If everything that has happened to you, you think is by your power, you think it's by your understanding, you think it's by your scheme, I did this, and it worked, then you have not experienced God. If you can attribute every success to yourself, whether unconsciously or consciously, it says, and lean not on your own understanding. And why is he saying that? Because definitely you have your understanding. Your understanding is what influences you. It's what the environment tells to you. And it's a prayer I pray for my children every day, that their environment should not influence them negatively. Long ago, we thought, say, oh, let our children go to Catholic school. Let them do this. I will talk. But you can't control the environment. And it's only for the environment to influence them negatively. People can hear everything and it will bounce off them. Lean not on your own understanding. Let your environment not influence you negatively. It will happen. You will see it. You will just apply your doctrines of the world to it and move on. The ways of the world will not affect you negatively just because you have seen it. And I pray for all of us today as we are here. And it's not only prayer for children. You can be influenced at any stage in your life. I feel for people that are in authority and power, because they have a lot of special advisors, they are called. People are supposed to go and do the research and come and advise them on what to do that will define the legacies of their period in power. What happened to, it wasn't Solomon, the one that was told to increase the taxes? Rehoboam. 2 sets of advices. You chose the wrong one. Lean not on your own understanding. Again, how do you not lean on your own understanding? It's the same as the first one. Have a journal of previous victories that didn't happen by your understanding. In fact, you can have 3 columns. This one is spreadsheet lesson today. 3 columns. What your own understanding of it was and what God did. When I finished masters, I tried a lot to go back to Nigeria. I think I went twice to go and do mobile test, shell test, blah, blah, blah. All failed. If I did one to the interview where they told me, so would you know in the managerial level that I will give you this job? I said, So we came back to continue to hustle. At least that we don't know somebody that something is happening small. Let's go back there. And my own understanding, after I've read, I skimmed on how to continue to stay on after post-study, was for the company to sponsor me. Worked hard. They woke me up one Friday afternoon. We are going to go and resume in business. Yes, sir. I'm looking for sponsorship. I will do anything. We will go there. And a month to, bring the car, so let's go and sponsor. Company ran into debt. All their contracts in Saudi Arabia. So see, external factor now, it has nothing to do with you. All their contracts in Saudi Arabia, they didn't pay. So, end of road, we are not sponsoring everybody again. In fact, I was even lucky because I was still on my previous visa. The others that were on sponsorship is you all have to go. We are not sponsoring you again. Now, when that happens, you have 30 days. Well, I won't say I was in the same shoe anyways because I had 30 days visa 2 left anyways. So, although their own was you are out of sponsorship, you have 30 days to find your level. Mine is you have 30 days left anyways. You are not even going there to say I was on sponsorship before. You are just there to go and prove yourself. And at that point, I was already thinking, it's time to go back. All these movie people, will call them again. We'll go and beg. We know somebody in manager. We will find somebody somewhere. We'll go to the Oba of my village. You go and prostrate. You must know somebody now. One illustrious son. 1 month. My own plan was, and I planned on that sponsorship so much. 20,000. His own was even worse. My own company even agreed already now. His own did not increase his salary by 2,000 to be able to sponsor him. Sorry, by 200 pounds. They say it will break the dynamic. I say, which dynamics is? Tell them that I will pay the 200 pounds and people will be paying it back to me annually. So that was the plan. Sponsorship did not work. But I'll tell you, that was my understanding. But when the understanding of God came, it was a revelation that do it this way, and that way. And we're able to switch to another visa that had the criteria of 50,000 pounds. In a month's period, God's understanding provided the money. And the condition of that visa is that you have to work for yourself now. And that's how I ventured into the work of contracting. And it doubled the salary. For my friend, he was looking for 200 pounds difference. He became a contractor earning 100,000 pounds a year. Within 1 month, he was confused. God's understanding. You're looking for 20,000, you're earning 19,800. Your next salary the next month was 100,000. How do you explain that? The foolish things of the world to confound the wise. The third one, very quickly. It says, acknowledge him in all your ways, and he will direct your path. Acknowledge him. So acknowledge him is not just mention. It's to place value on the thing that he has done. Not just to recognize, not just to mention it. Place value. The easiest way to make a man's head swell is for you to play back his achievements to him. Tell him you're the one that did this, you're the one that did that. I know you can do this because you have done that. Someone that is not in a position to help you will want to help you. In Yoruba land, there's Oriki. I can't forget, I was in a party one time with Dangote came sitting down. I don't know if he had the intention of spraying money before anyways. But the moment Sonny Ade started to sing Dangote spaghetti, Dangote macaroni, Bondu was just going to the stage. Bondu for a 30 minutes period, non-stop. I just if after that, let me just even follow this. But acknowledge a man in his ways. He will bless you. And God is not even telling you here. Acknowledge him and he will direct your path. Not mention. Acknowledge means for every time that door is shut. And you know problems have a way of returning. And that's another thing that worry will bring. Why is it that you find a job today and the next minute you are thinking, what if they sack me? Why? You are ill today, next you are thinking, what if the thing returns? When you meet with a brick wall, acknowledge him. If you are praying for that door to open, that door did not open. Go back to the previous ones that he opened and tell him. Pray it to him. David understood this. When he went to face Goliath, he didn't continue to say, in Jesus' name, you will fall, or whatever it is you're praying. He didn't continue to say, the God has brought me, the God of this, you will fall. He said, the God that delivered me from the bear and the lion, acknowledge God, and he will direct you. The direction, they didn't tell him to go and carry a spear and a big, he said stone. Direct the foolish things of this world. Stone. Just 5. Pick it. If you understand this concept, how do you acknowledge God? Again, go back to that your spreadsheet. Document it there. The things that God has done. If you are facing financial issues, go back to your book. The places that God opened financial victories for you without your power, without your knowledge, and play it back to him. Acknowledge him strongly. All the one you'll be using to think, go and use to acknowledge him. Face the door based on the ones that were opened, not the one that is closed. Don't concentrate too much on the one that is closed. I've discovered that problem has a way of evolving, that it eventually go away. You either live with it or forget it. So why dwell on it? Why not just use the previous victories to win the new ones? A lot of things I've learned today, and honestly, I would say I have notes here. It's not really me speaking in theory, and I don't like listening to myself normally. But I listened to a message, and the man said, even if you teach, go back and listen to it, because in it there are instructions for you. I think we've learned a couple of things today. In my head, I'm trying to remember. I think I've learned a couple of things today. Worry, you can't run away from it. You have to face it. So if you are going to worry positively. Don't confine your worry to 2 hours a day. It's not practical. When you start to give excuses, don't face the excuses. Face the victories. Face the things that God has done that has opened doors for you in the past. Trust. Most importantly, lean on your own understanding, not. It says not is at the end. Do not lean on your understanding. It's useless. It won't help you. And God will speak to you if you find him, if you meditate. Visions will come, things will come. Write it down almost immediately. Date it. And God will not fail us in Jesus' name. Let's just say one prayer for ourselves. Say, Father, help me to genuinely trust in you. I'm not interested in my own understanding. Help me to genuinely trust in you. To trust in you completely. With my body, with my soul, with my spirit, with my heart, with every part of me. Help me to trust in you. Help me to trust in you. For in Jesus' name we have prayed. Amen.